expression. It will be prudent for you to return home and complete your homework. Chu Feng retorted. That statement is more insulting than being seated at a children's table. Ahem. I shall accompany you. Chun Xiao chose to ignore him. Since fate had brought them together, why not transform this encounter into a television drama? Chun Xiao summoned Lei Ting for a brief exchange. Understood, boss, Lei Ting acknowledged. Chun Xiao continued forward, soon encountering a throng gathered at the school entrance. A circle of vehicles surrounded Su Xiaolan's Porsche 911. Leading the group was a red-haired individual wielding a machete and a steel pipe, continuously provoking Su Xiaolan's bodyguards. The Porsche's exterior was battered beyond recognition. Su Xiaolan's complexion turned pale, while her bodyguard gripped a baton, ready to confront the assailants. Just then, a mundane family sedan crashed into Huang An's vehicle with a resounding bang. The crowd was momentarily stunned, pondering who would dare to collide with this group of intimidating thugs. Huang An quickly regained his composure and swung the steel pipe, shattering the windshield of the family sedan. Are you blind? How dare you hit me? What are you waiting for? Smash it! A horde of lackeys sprang to life, surrounding the sedan and unleashing a flurry of blows. Engaging in such a risk-free endeavor was second nature to them. Seizing the opportunity, Su Xiaolan's bodyguard led her out of the encirclement, fortuitously encountering Chun Xiao on the outskirts. Boss, Chun Xiao nodded, expressing gratitude for their efforts. Leave the rest to me. The female bodyguard exhaled in relief. Yes. Chun Xiao observed Su Xiaolan, whose face was ashen. Are you frightened? Su Xiaolan slightly nodded before quickly shaking her head. I'm not afraid. Chun Xiao smiled, drawing her into an embrace. Fear not. I shall handle everything. Huang An was reveling in the destruction, oblivious to the fact that numerous onlookers were discreetly recording the incident with professional cameras, capturing every angle in vivid detail. It was only after the car had been reduced to a wreck that Huang An ceased his assault, placing a foot on the hood and producing a cigarette, which was promptly lit by one of his subordinates, projecting an air of arrogance. You, step forward. Huang An commanded the driver. Lei Ting, donning a cap, finally raised his head, a smirk playing on his lips as he slowly descended from the vehicle. At that moment, all those holding cameras turned them off, and the surrounding surveillance suddenly lost power. A group then emerged to disperse the crowd. Everyone, please disperse. Huang An instinctively sensed something was amiss. But by the time he realized it, he was already surrounded by a cadre of imposing figures. Who are you? Chun Xiao approached from behind, his arm around Su Xiaolan. Is it you who is troubling my woman? Huang An furrowed his brow, observing the situation, clearly more adept than himself. Among the second-generation elites of Ice City, he recognized those who surpassed him. Yet this individual was unfamiliar. Was he an outsider making waves? Huang An's legs felt weak, for he noticed a woman who had previously bested his group standing nearby. Surrounding them were dozens, each appearing more formidable than her. Huang An swallowed hard and said, I'm the son of Huang Fuhong from the Ice City Sanjian. Brother, this must be a misunderstanding. Upon hearing his self-introduction, Chun Xiao couldn't help but smile. Indeed, he had not mistaken his target. Huang Fuhong was quite the unfortunate soul, having fathered such a myopic offspring. He was no better than Bai Lancheng. Contemplating this, Chun Xiao felt even greater admiration for Chu Feng's father. Not disappointing one's father was the most essential quality of a worthy second-generation heir. Huang Fuhong's son was indeed correct. With a wave of his hand, Chun Xiao summoned a dozen men from his security detail. Like wolves among sheep, they effortlessly subdued the group, pinning them to the ground. Half an hour later, as the ordeal concluded, witnesses reported only splatters of suspected nasal blood and several pairs of bean-sized shoes at the scene. Su Xiaolang, who had witnessed the dismal fate of Huang and his companions, sat in the back seat of a Rolls-Royce, nestled in Chun Xiao's embrace and feeling somewhat anxious. In her mind, violence bore consequences and could even lead to legal repercussions. Sensing her tension, Chun Xiao reassured her, do not worry, nothing will come of this. Su Xiaolan obediently nodded, her concern mingled with a hint of sweetness. Chun Xiao's fierce demeanor in defense of her was undeniably handsome. Unbeknownst to her, Chun Xiao's anger was not solely for the sake of his beloved, but primarily for business interests. Before the battered Huang and could return home, videos of the Ice City, Sanjian air smashing cars with weapons had already inundated the internet. The sensational headlines were abundant, crafted to capture attention in the most exaggerated manner possible. Just after Huang Fuhong concluded a meeting, his assistant rushed in, flustered. Chairman, your son is causing trouble outside, and it's trending online. What? Is it severe? The impact is considerable. Huang Fuhong's brow furrowed deeply. His ice city Sanjian was at a critical juncture of transformation, where stock prices were of utmost importance. A sudden plunge could jeopardize their pool of investors and sever funding sources. Should the financial chain break, ongoing projects would halt immediately. If a vicious cycle ensued, bankruptcy could become a reality. Who was responsible for this? As a prominent figure, he could not accept that this incident was mere happenstance. Ordinary individuals lack such influence. There must be unseen hands at play. The Public Relations Department was currently investigating. Huang Fuhong's expression darkened, and he canceled all activities for the evening. As an entrepreneur with a less than pristine reputation, he dreaded the power of online discourse. The internet harbors all sorts of individuals, capable of unearthing past grievances and transforming trivial matters into significant issues. This troublesome individual must be confined and prohibited from venturing outside. Boss, the young master has been taken to the hospital. What happened? After he vandalized someone else's car, he was beaten to a pulp. Huang Fuhong inquired. Is there any footage of him being assaulted circulating online? None. Huang Fuhong fell silent. Realizing this was a classic case of selective reporting. Videos showcasing Huang and vandalism were readily available, yet none depicted the subsequent beating. As a seasoned figure in the underworld, Huang Fuhong would not let this injustice slide. Prepare the vehicle. We're heading to the hospital. Understood. At the underground parking lot of Guanjing International, Su Xiaolan's shattered Porsche was returned. A pang of sorrow struck her. It was the very first car gifted to her by Chun Xiao, holding immense sentimental value. Don't worry, Chun Xiao reassured her with a smile. I will buy you an even better one later. Su Xiaolan replied, there's no need for such extravagance. It can still be repaired. Chun Xiao chuckled. This car is beyond repair now. It's actually quite valuable. Su Xiaolan was perplexed. How could a car in such a ruined state possibly appreciate in value? Chapter 317. The twisted journey home. Chun Xiao chose not to clarify her confusion, instead wrapping his arm around Su Xiaolan as they ascended the stairs happily. He simultaneously contacted Su Tang to register a new company, preparing to invest in Ice City Sanjian. Yes, business matters were not Su Xiaolan's forte. She decided it best to focus on her own responsibilities, managing the household to ensure Chun Xiao could find peace of mind and comfort. In truth, Su Xiaolan faced her own challenges. She attended classes during the day, returned home to tend to family affairs, and, after a long day, Chun Xiao's comings and goings added to her fatigue. The following day, the stock price of Ice City Sanjian plummeted in response. Locals were well aware of the company's dubious foundation. The viral video of the chairman's son smashing cars had sparked widespread outrage, potentially posing significant risks, and the possibility of delisting loomed large. Consequently, a wave of sell-offs commenced. After clearing out their own shares, local investors took to the internet, revealing all the sordid tales surrounding Ice City Sanjian's rise to prominence. This quickly triggered a domino effect. Most shareholders began liquidating their positions. Only Tung Xiao Capital, having awaited this opportunity for quite some time, commenced small-scale acquisitions amid the deluge of sell orders, ensuring minimal impact on the market trend. Having barely slept the previous night, Huang Fuhong awoke to the news of the stock price decline. Although he had anticipated some downturn, the severity of the drop was shocking. He had collateralized a portion of his stocks with financial institutions. Should the stock value dip below a certain threshold, it would undoubtedly incite a wave of forced liquidations, causing an already unstable stock price to collapse. Contemplating his options, Huang Fuhong accessed his phone's contact list and called the only number without a label. Hello, Mr. Wang. As per your instructions, I have halted the project sale. Now, with the company's stock price under pressure, I kindly ask for your assistance to help me navigate through this crisis. Wang's voice dripped with disdain. You fool. Do you not comprehend who has orchestrated this suppression? He had fallen victim to Chun Zhao's schemes several times, and now the cash allowance granted to him by his family had drastically shrunk. Where could he possibly find the funds to rescue himself? What was once a well-laid plan was now disrupted by the son of Huang Fuhong. Hold on, Lao Huang. I will swiftly mobilize funds to assist you. Huang Fuhong was instantly elated. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Oh, no need for thanks. You've done so much for me. How can I turn a blind eye? Huang Fuhong felt a surge of gratitude. Over the years, his efforts for the Wang family had not been in vain. Very well, Mr. Wang. I shall not disturb you further. Farewell. After hanging up the phone, Wang Ju pondered and said, Akin, apply to the family board for permission to acquire Ice City Third construction while prices are low. Since he's incompetent, we shall take matters into our own hands. The government is poised to vigorously develop the real estate sector, even at a higher price, it would be a worthwhile investment. Yes, sir. What Chen Xiao did not anticipate was that on the second trading day after acquiring Ice City Third Construction, competitors emerged in the market, undeterred by negative press. Following Tung Xiao Capital's resolute investment in the company. Soon, Chen Xiao received a report from Zhong, stating that Wang Ju had made his move. Damn it. That scoundrel just won't go away. Chen Xiao cursed, but did not alter his plans. Even if they were unable to acquire Ice City Third Construction, it mattered little. The most valuable assets of their company were the land and that shopping mall project. As long as they secured the mall, the land was inconsequential. In this era, money could buy land anywhere, and real estate developers were the most esteemed proprietors in every locality. However, to seize that mall, they ultimately had to contend with Huang Fuhong. After a moment of contemplation, Chen Xiao picked up the phone and called in Zhong and Lei Ting separately. Following his instructions, he awaited the outcome. His subordinates were highly capable, and with ample funds at their disposal, many tasks were executed with remarkable ease. The tide of capital could sweep away all obstacles. Recently, Huang Fuhong had been exceedingly anxious. His son had been hospitalized, and the assailant remained unidentified. The girl who had instigated the incident had not attended classes for a considerable time. Huang Fuhong had come to realize that given his standing in Ice City, the absence of clues after so many days was indeed abnormal. His son, Huang, had likely crossed paths with someone he should not have. Consequently, he speculated that the turmoil surrounding his company might have been orchestrated by others. This thought filled him with both anger and fear. He lamented that ultimately, his indulgence had harmed both his son and himself. Yet, this was merely the beginning. Just as Huang Fuhong finished his lamentation, news regarding the chairman of Ice City Third Construction, who had violently demolished properties 3 years prior, causing severe injuries, surged to the forefront of trending topics. A chill ran through him. The worst had indeed come to pass. If this incident gained momentum, it could unravel a cascade of subsequent events. While he sought ways to mitigate the situation, he was confronted with another headline. The chairman of Ice City Third Construction was accused of maintaining a relationship with a female celebrity. What the hell? This is pure slander, Huang Fuhong exclaimed, staring at the well-known domestic actress. He had never even met her, so how could such accusations hold any weight? However, capitalizing on the celebrity's popularity, Huang Fuhong also ascended to fame, but the truth behind the violent demolitions was bound to surface. Frightened, Huang immediately ordered his subordinates to secure 5 tickets to North America, then hastily retrieve his passport and rush downstairs. In his panic, he did not summon a driver, but instead unlocked his car and drove off himself. Yet, as soon as he started the engine, a cacophony of firecracker sounds erupted from beneath the vehicle, causing him to tremble in fear. Damn, who could have done this? Upon regaining his composure, he reflected on the situation, suddenly gripped by dread. What if those sounds were not firecrackers, but explosives? He might have already met his demise. Terrified, Huang dared not drive further. Clutching his bag, he dashed along the wall and discreetly flagged down a taxi, instructing the driver to take him home. After ensuring no one was following, he felt a measure of relief. Huang contemplated how the last time he had taken a taxi was during the early days of his entrepreneurship. Those memories felt as fresh as yesterday. Sighing, he lamented how he had spiraled to such a dire state. A few minutes later, the taxi arrived at the entrance of his residential complex. Mr. Huang, you have arrived home. Oh, thank you, Huang responded, only to suddenly realize this was not his regular driver. How do you know? The driver smiled. Mr. Huang, you have offended the wrong person. It would be wise to exit the vehicle quickly, and your fare is on the house. Trembling, Huang opened the door and hurried into the complex, finally feeling a bit more secure. His residence was situated in the affluent district of Ice City, with robust security measures in place. He navigated the building's entrance without incident, but as he stepped into the elevator and leaned against the wall, anxiety still plagued him. If the individual from the taxi had sinister intentions, would he not be dead by now? Ding! The elevator reached the 28th floor. Weary, he stepped out, only to be paralyzed by the sight before him, collapsing onto the floor in shock. Before his door stood an altar adorned with a portrait in black and white, his own likeness. After a moment of heavy breathing, Huang rose, tore down the photo, and violently shredded it, sending the incense burner and paper offerings flying with a kick. He then fished out his keys, opened the door, and stepped inside. His wife, 18 years his junior and freshly graduated from university, was enjoying her time as a pampered housewife, donning pajamas and applying a facial mask. She was startled by Huang's sudden entrance. Oh, Fuhong, you're home so early. Why are you drenched in sweat? What is wrong with you? She asked. Did my mask frighten you? Huang replied, there is a red line around your neck. His wife paused, bewildered. How could that be? Turning to glance in the mirror, she instantly shrieked. The red line drawn around her neck appeared as if her throat had been slashed. Fu Hong, what is happening? Huang could only remain speechless, knowing it was undoubtedly the work of that person. Every move the adversary makes serves as a stark reminder of their capacity to extinguish one's life at any moment. Alas, do remove that paper stick protruding from your hair. Huang Fu Hong's wife was momentarily taken aback. Upon touching it, she discovered an object resembling chopsticks. Almost overcome with fright, she nearly wept for having just bathed, her hair cascading freely. How could such a thing be there? Upon removing it, she realized it was merely a stick fashioned from paper. Huang Fu Hong, however, felt a sense of relief. Various signs indicated that the other party was merely issuing a warning, rather than intending to take action. Otherwise, he would have perished the moment he exited the company. Unfurling the paper, he found a single sentence accompanied by an address. You have one last chance. Bring your son to this location tomorrow afternoon to resolve the matter, or it will be too late. Fu Hong, are you all right? Huang Fu Hong retrieved a lighter, ignited the paper, and discarded it into the ashtray. It's nothing, just sleep. The following day, at a villa on the outskirts of I-City, Chen Xiao surveyed the surroundings, which were quite pleasant. The interior was filled with warmth. He was the first visitor to this newly renovated villa. Outside, the damaged Porsche lay parked. Su Xiaolan was puzzled as to why they brought along a broken vehicle to the countryside. She assumed Chen Xiao was merely seeking a respite, perhaps for an outdoor barbecue. Shortly thereafter, Huang Fu Hong arrived, driving a single car accompanied by 2 trusted aides to care for his son. After a thorough inquiry by Chen Zhao's bodyguards, they were finally permitted entry. Dad, this hardly seems like an appropriate venue for an apology. Perhaps we should leave, Huang suggested. Silence, until this matter is resolved. Where do you think we can go? It's all you're doing, Huang Fu Hong rebuked, prompting Huang to fall silent. In the courtyard stood numerous bodyguards, and Huang felt a wave of fear wash over him at the sight of them, for it was these very individuals who had left him in such a state. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Huang Fu Hong. May I inquire who is in charge here? Lei Ting cast a cold glance in his direction, sheathing his butterfly knife as he stood up. Wait here, he instructed, before striding into the house. Moments later, Chen Xiao emerged with Su Xiaolan, accompanied by a middle-aged man bearing an injured individual swathed in bandages. Upon seeing Su Xiaolan, Huang awkwardly bowed in apology. Su Xiaolan, I'm truly sorry. I was wrong. It was then that Su Xiaolan recognized him as Huang astonished by the severity of his injuries. Chen Xiao chuckled. So, you must be Director Huang? Huang Fu Hong, observing his demeanor, deduced that he was indeed the one in charge here. To his surprise, the individual responsible for his son's predicament was merely a young man of similar age to his own offspring. Truly, it is a case of comparing oneself to others and finding oneself wanting. Casting a glance at Huang his anger flared. Why was it that, despite being of the same age, others' children could lead their lives to ruin while his own son had brought about his own downfall? I am indeed, Huang Fu Hong responded, still oblivious to his opponent's name. Chen Xiao smiled, settling into a wrought-tan chair in the courtyard. I am Chen Xiao. Huang Fu Hong silently etched this name into his memory. Mr. Chen, I sincerely came here today with my son to express my apologies for the trouble I have caused you. I am willing to compensate you double for any losses incurred. Chen Xiao nodded, acknowledging that Mr. Huang was a straightforward individual. He pointed to the severely damaged Porsche and remarked, this is the only globally limited edition Porsche 911 that I specifically ordered from Italy. Let's discuss the compensation. Huang Fu Hong exclaimed, what a ridiculous claim. This is nothing but an attempt to extort. Chen Zhao's affection for his girlfriend was indeed moving, and Su Xiaolan, surprisingly convinced, gazed at him with glistening eyes, feeling even more distressed about the car that held such special significance. Mr. Chen, why not be frank? What is the value of this car? Chen Xiao replied, the car may not be worth much, but it took 20 Italian craftsmen half a year to create it, so it is worth around 20 to 30 million. Additionally, the mental anguish, damage to reputation, and loss of face suffered by my girlfriend combined would also amount to about 20 to 30 million, adding in various other costs. Let's round it up to 100 million. Huang Fu Hong was taken aback by Chen Zhao's audacity. 100 million? That was not easily attainable. Su Xiaolan was also shocked, finally understanding the true meaning of Chen Zhao's valuation of the car. Huang exploded. Are you robbing me? I clearly smashed a mass-produced Porsche, worth no more than 200,000. Chen Xiao shrugged. indicating his indifference. Huang Fuhong's expression fluctuated, clearly aware of the blatant extortion. But could he refuse? 100 million, though substantial, was surely less valuable than the lives of his family. Mr. Chun, if I transfer 100 million, will this matter be settled? Chen Xiao nodded, of course. I am not an unreasonable person. Huang Fuhong pondered for a moment and said, all right, I accept. Dad, be quiet. You useless fool. Huang was furious, nearly breaking his bones in anger. Chen Xiao gestured, and someone promptly handed over a laptop and account details, making it clear that the transfer was to occur immediately. With no other choice, Huang took the materials and completed the transaction, transferring 100 million to Chen Xiao's account. Mr. Chun, are you satisfied? Chen Xiao smiled and replied, quite satisfied. Since you are here, you shouldn't leave empty-handed. Take this globally unique Porsche with you. Huang Fuhong felt a pang of regret. After spending 100 million, he was left with what he considered a pile of scrap metal. How could he bear to look at it every day? Forget the car. If there's nothing else, I must take my leave, Huang Fuhong said. Chen Xiao interjected. Now that the matters regarding the car and my girlfriend are resolved, let us discuss the main issue. Huang Fuhong retorted, what the hell? I just spent 100 million, and we're still not discussing the main issue? He felt an overwhelming urge to vomit blood. If 100 million couldn't resolve the problem, then surely 200 million would not suffice. The other party seemed insatiable. Surely, they would not demand he relinquish his entire fortune? Chen Xiao understood that even a cornered rabbit would bite when provoked. He was well acquainted with such matters and knew how to navigate them adeptly. Huang Fuhong, feeling somewhat apprehensive, inquired, what business matter do you refer to? Chen Xiao gestured towards the chair opposite him, stating, Mr. Huang, please take a seat. Our earlier discussion pertained to personal matters. Now, we shall engage in business negotiations. Huang Fuhong was at a loss for words. This young man was indeed quite discerning. Personal issues were addressed from a position of superiority, while business discussions were conducted on equal footing. Not wishing to appear overly dramatic, Huang Fuhong acknowledged the situation, no matter how he tried to evade it. He could not escape. With Chen Xiao's capabilities, if he were unwilling, Huang would likely find himself unable to even reach the airport. After taking a seat, 2 cups of hot tea were brought forth. Chen Xiao took 1 cup and offered the other to Huang. To an outsider, it might have seemed as though 2 longtime friends were simply enjoying tea and conversation in a courtyard. May I inquire what Mr. Chen wishes to discuss? Chen Xiao took a sip of his tea and replied, recently, my company intended to acquire a project involving commercial space and residential land. Initially, everything was progressing smoothly. Yet unfortunately, the other party suddenly changed their stance, which was quite discourteous. Huang Fuhong's pupils constricted in realization. So that was it. He had assumed that the trouble stemmed solely from his son, not realizing that the true intention lay elsewhere. Are you affiliated with the Yida Commercial Group? Chen Xiao nodded, affirming, indeed, Yida Commercial Group is a modest enterprise under my purview. Huang Fuhong could hardly believe it. With a registered capital exceeding 10 billion and initiating projects worth hundreds of billions nationwide, this was merely a small company under his control. Reflecting on Wang Ju, Huang suddenly awoke to the gravity of the situation. To be a rival of the Wang family, what formidable strength that must entail. No wonder Chen Xiao exuded such an intimidating presence. Mr. Chen, he stammered, given this context, you must understand that I find myself in a precarious position. Chen Xiao nodded. I understand. It is all about Wang Ju, isn't it? The purpose of our meeting today is to resolve this issue. Huang Fuhong was taken aback. It was not common to hear someone mention Wang Ju's name so casually in public. Mr. Chen, what do you propose we do? Chen Xiao smiled. It is quite simple. Fulfill the previously agreed upon transaction. Huang Fuhong replied, Mr. Chen, it is not that I am unwilling, but rather that the Wang family forbids it. I dare not proceed. Chen Xiao was left speechless. You truly are in a dire situation. Must you obey him in everything? As a person from the North Province, where is your courage? Huang Fuhong, with a mournful expression, responded, Mr. Chen, I once possessed that spirit in my youth. Otherwise, I would not have established a foundation in I City. However, he glanced at Huang and, I am now older and merely wish for my wayward son and our family to live in peace. Chen Xiao chuckled, you, an experienced player in this game, have surely heard the adage that one must eventually repay their debts incurred in the world of intrigue. In this realm, one cannot escape their fate, nor can you protect your family's destiny. To avoid offending the Wang family is to invite my ire. Do you truly believe that the consequences of crossing me would be lighter than those of the Wang family? Huang Fuhong shivered. The experiences he had on his way home from the office yesterday were etched in his memory. Offending Chen Xiao would undoubtedly yield consequences no less severe than those of the Wang family. Mr. Chen, I did not mean to imply that, he stammered, caught in a dilemma. After pondering, Chen Xiao proposed, let us do this. Complete the previously agreed-upon transaction, and I shall ensure your safe departure. Huang Fuhong was taken aback. Going abroad? He inquired. Chen Xiao nodded affirmatively. After a moment's contemplation, Huang Fuhong concluded that it would be far better to leave than to become entangled between two powerful figures. Moreover, given his dubious background, the risk of being caught in their conflict was too great. As long as you ensure my family's safe passage overseas, I shall fully cooperate with you in the transfer of the project, he stated. Chen Xiao nodded. Excellent. I shall make the necessary arrangements. With a heavy sigh, Huang Fuhong endeavored to convince himself, well, after toiling for half a lifetime, it is time to rest. Mr. Chen, before I depart, I wish to sell my shares to you. Would you be interested? Chen Xiao paused, realizing that Huang Fuhong's shares were of little consequence to him. However, considering the Wang family's involvement with the company, he replied, very well, we shall proceed at market price. All right then, I will prepare all the necessary paperwork, and we can finalize the transfer before my flight, Huang Fuhong responded. Chen Xiao smiled. That sounds agreeable. With a decision made, Huang Fuhong felt a sense of relief wash over him. Selling all his assets and leaving with the proceeds felt liberating. After all, anywhere could serve as a sanctuary. Surveying his surroundings, Huang Fuhong complimented, Mr. Chen, your taste is impeccable. This residence is truly splendid, with excellent greenery. Chen Xiao inquired, is that so? Is it worth purchasing? Huang Fuhong nodded enthusiastically. Absolutely. It is immensely valuable. Had I known sooner, I would have seized it before you. Chen Xiao chuckled. No worries. I won't let you leave with regrets. What? Huang Fuhong exclaimed, bewildered. Please have the landlord come here. Yes. Soon, a man driving a BMW entered, politely distributing cigarettes to those present. Chen Xiao remarked, Mr. Huang, wouldn't you find it regrettable not to purchase this property? The landlord has arrived. It's time to settle the payment. Huang Fuhong exclaimed, what? I'm paying, and the house belongs to you? That is not regret. That is sheer madness. He felt an urge to slap himself, knowing full well that Chen Xiao was not to be trifled with, yet he couldn't help but engage in the conversation. Seeing the eager anticipation in Chen Xiao's eyes, Huang Fuhong reluctantly kept his composure. After all, if one had already spent a fortune, a house seemed trivial in comparison. How much? He asked. The landlord, grinning, held up 2 fingers. 20 million. What? Huang Fuhong shrieked. You want 20 million for this house? In the suburbs of I-City, in this era, it should only be worth 6,000 to 7,000 per square meter. 20 million could buy 3,000 square meters. This house can't possibly be more than a few hundred square meters, right? It likely wouldn't even cost 5 million. The landlord confidently replied, indeed. But the renovations used the finest materials from around the globe. The decoration alone cost 15 million. Huang Fuhong was left speechless. Who on earth pays 3 times the house price for renovations? This is insanity. Glancing at Chen Xiao, Huang Fuhong sighed. All right then, please provide me with your account details. Of course, the landlord replied, handing over the information. With a troubled expression, Huang Fuhong transferred 20 million, then hurriedly took his leave. Mr. Chen, I shall await your notification. I won't disturb you further today. Chen Xiao smiled. Won't you stay for some barbecue? No, I can't afford it, nor can I eat anymore. Farewell. Chen Xiao observed as the two fled in a panic, unable to suppress a chuckle. The landlord, having made an additional 200,000, was equally elated. Mr. Chen, should I transfer the surplus 15 million to your personal account or the company's? Either is fine, you've worked hard. It's nothing, truly not arduous at all. I shall transfer it to you right away. After a brief transaction, Chen Xiao found an extra 15 million in his account. He courteously invited the former landlord to enjoy some barbecue before departing. But the landlord stubbornly declined, worried that the newly acquired 20,000 might slip away. Having garnered over 100 million through astute dealings, Chen Zhao's spirit soared. Thunder, let the brothers feast. We're hosting at the villa in the suburbs today. Understood. You lot, ensure the shifts are arranged. The rest will he the boss. Su Xiaolan's perception of Chen Xiao was once again reshaped. The renowned entrepreneur from I-City appeared before her, obedient as a well-behaved child, yielding without a hint of defiance. What sort of prowess did Chen Xiao possess that inspired such compliance? Su Xiaolan found her imagination inadequate to fathom it. Shaking her head, she resolved to abandon speculation and focus on her own responsibilities. Xiaolan, what car do you fancy? I shall procure a new one for you. Ah, This car can still function if repaired, can it? The Porsche, having fulfilled its purpose, was dismissed by Chun Xiao with disdain. Why would I drive this dilapidated vehicle? Fix it up and sell it as a premium secondhand car. Su Xiaolan nodded in understanding. In the afternoon, Chun Xiao and his party returned to the city, leaving the villa for future leisure. En route, he called Zhang Meng, instructing him to acquire a fully equipped Panamera. After prolonged use of sports cars, comfort became paramount. Upon entering the urban area, Thunder received a phone call, addressing it briefly before hanging up. Turning to report, he noticed Su Xiaolan's presence and chose to remain silent. Chun Xiao sensed his discomfort. Upon reaching Guanjing International, Chun Xiao remarked, "Xiaolan, you go ahead. I'll stay downstairs for a smoke before joining you." "All right. Take care not to catch cold." Su Xiaolan recognized that his intention was not merely to smoke. Given the expanse of his home, Chun Xiao could indulge freely without the need to linger outside. Nevertheless, as he remained silent, she refrained from questioning and ascended first with her female bodyguard. Thunder produced a cigarette, lighting it for Chun Xiao before speaking. "Boss, the outsiders have contacted the Roshan, but they're declining our assignment." Chun Xiao was taken aback. A killer organization refusing a task? Had the compensation been insufficient? Thunder shook his head. The payment was ample. Perhaps they encountered obstacles. Furrowing his brow, Chun Xiao mused. Can Wang Zhu truly influence Roshan? I find it hard to believe. If he possessed such power, he wouldn't resort to merely hiring peripheral personnel to deal with me. The specifics are unclear for now, but I will continue to investigate. Chun Xiao nodded, acknowledging that it was prudent to refrain from such matters for the time being. Very well. Let us set this aside for now and revisit it later. Yes, sir. Regarding Huang Fuhong's departure, Chun Xiao has arranged everything, so there is no need for concern. Upon returning home, Yin Bingqin called to inquire about the project. "Hello, boss. How is the Ice City project progressing? If it's not feasible, I will return to Jinning, and it would be a wasted trip." Chun Xiao smiled. "You cannot go back to Jinning for the time being. Matters have been settled. You can begin preparing for the next steps, as a contract may be signed at any moment." "Oh, really?" Yin Bingqin exclaimed with surprise. "Yes. Little brother, I didn't expect you to be quite impressive, which pleasantly surprised me," she added. Chun Xiao replied, "As for my capabilities, just keep it to yourself and do not spread it." "Oof. Where are you? I will bring the project documents over. If everything looks good, please sign them so I can proceed with the process." "All right, come to Guanjing International." "Okay, I will wait for you." After hanging up, Chun Xiao waited until evening. Yin Bingqin had still not arrived, hesitating whether to call and check on her. He thought it might be disruptive if she arrived while he was in the midst of his own tasks. Just as he was about to make the call, he received a phone call from Gan Mishue. Chun Xiao felt puzzled. What could Dr. Gan want at this late hour? "Hello. Dr. Gan, how are you?" "Oh, hello." "Chun Xiao, are you home?" "Yes, I am." "Oh, could you come down for a moment? Bingqin asked me to deliver some documents to you." Chun Xiao was speechless. This girl actually sent her friend to run errands. Dr. Gan had been quite helpful when Chan Jiangwo was injured. He could not neglect her kindness. "Is that so? Won't you come up for a bit?" "No, I'm on duty tonight." "Oh, all right, I'll head down right away." "Okay, I will wait for you." Chun Xiao quickly got dressed and ventured out alone. There was no need to worry about safety at home, as the entire neighborhood was under the watchful eye of bodyguards. Any unusual movement would be detected immediately. Outside, Gan Mishue emerged from her Mercedes, carrying a document bag as she approached Chun Xiao. Her tall figure and graceful beauty were evident, even in her white coat. The buttons at the front struggled to contain the pressure, and her delicate face was framed by black-rimmed glasses. Her hair was casually tied up, yet it did not detract from her attractiveness. "I apologize for troubling you at such a late hour," Chun Xiao said. Gan Mishue smiled slightly, exuding charm. "It's no trouble at all. It's on my way." The vast underground parking lot echoed with their voices, as they were the only two present. "Is it safe for you to work the night shift alone?" Gan Mishue replied. "What is unsafe about it? I've grown accustomed to it." "Well, I have an immature suggestion, and I'm not sure if I should say it." Gan Mishue laughed. "We are friends, after all. What is there to hesitate about? Please share." "Well, perhaps you should consider wearing a larger lab coat. This one seems a bit unsafe." Gan Mishue responded, "This is already the most suitable size. If I go a size up while it fits in some areas, in others, I would look like a performer in a play." Thus, she expressed her helplessness, as such concerns could sometimes lead to various inconveniences. At that moment, although Chun Zhao's suggestion was well-intentioned, it still caused Gan Mishue's cheeks to flush with embarrassment. If you have no other matters to attend to, I shall be on my way to work." With that, she turned and hurried back to her car. Chun Xiao was left speechless. This was quite the temptation, indeed. Even someone like me, who has developed a certain resilience against the allure of beautiful women, finds it difficult to withstand. Would anyone else fare any better? Chapter 321. You are the real burden. Watching Gon Mishue's Mercedes-Benz glide out of the underground parking lot, Chen Xiao finally ascended the stairs with his folder in hand. Yan Bingqin's proposal was meticulously crafted, aligning closely with Chen Zhao's principles, though a few details exhibited slight discrepancies. He diligently noted these down with a pen and annotated his suggested revisions. After a thorough review, he found no issues and affixed his signature, signifying that the proposal could now proceed through the necessary channels for implementation. As he organized the documents, he glanced at the clock and realized it was already 1 in the morning. Chen Xiao couldn't help but reflect on the unexpected reality of working late into the night. Su Xiaolan had already fallen asleep in bed while waiting for him. He gently covered her with a blanket, hoping for a rare night of tranquility. The next day, after completing his morning exercise and shower, Chen Xiao received a call from Yan Bingqin. Hello, how was the proposal? Is it satisfactory? Generally acceptable. Any shortcomings have been clearly marked, and my suggested changes are well documented, he replied. Yan Bingqin pouted, got it, big boss. Please send someone over to collect it. Chen Xiao responded. Surely you want to send someone like a secretary? Yan Bingqin laughed. Didn't I send over a rather imposing secretary last night? You didn't keep her around, did you? Chen Xiao was a loss for words. I knew you were doing this on purpose. Giggling, she said, all right, my boss. Don't be bashful. Am I not familiar with you? Enjoy yourself, and I shall see you shortly. Goodbye. Chen Xiao muttered to himself. This is frustrating. Since Yan Bingqin discovered that force was ineffective against Chen Xiao, she had adopted a more gentle approach, which proved to be quite effective. Her previous assertive tactics had always failed. Now, with her softer demeanor, she had him retreating step by step, filling her with a sense of accomplishment. Yan Bingqin checked her makeup in the mirror, then applied a luscious shade of lipstick before setting off with her car keys while humming a tune. Chen Xiao, being nearby, reached the CAF first. There was no need to look around. The collective gasp of the surrounding men signaled Yan Bingqin's arrival. Turning his head, Chen Xiao beheld the elegantly striking Yan Bingqin approaching with a graceful stride. Of course, the aura of cool detachment was reserved for the outside world. When she reached Chen Xiao, she removed her sunglasses, revealing her sparkling eyes filled with mirth. Did you miss your sister, boss? Chen Xiao replied. We are here for business. Please be serious. Yan Bingqin rolled her eyes, fully aware of Chen Zhao's strict separation of work and personal life. Otherwise, he wouldn't have retained those twin secretaries in Su Tang without having made advances. Thus, she adopted a more serious demeanor. All right, boss. Could you please show me the proposal? Chen Xiao pushed the folder forward, and Yan Bingqin opened it to examine it closely. Whenever she encountered something unclear, she promptly sought Chen Zhao's guidance. Only after comprehending all his intentions did she finally put the documents away. Her luscious red lips left a faint mark on the pristine coffee cup. Now that our work discussion is concluded, we can. Chen Xiao interrupted with a cough. What are you planning to do? Yan Bingqin inquired. What do you think of Gan Mishue? Chen Xiao was at a loss for words. You of all people, a lady from a prestigious family, could refrain from engaging in such matchmaking affairs. Yan Bingqin retorted, puffed. Matchmaking? She's my closest confidant. So? With a mysterious air. Yan Bingqin responded, she's quite ample. You don't find that appealing? Chen Xiao replied, what does ample signify? At most, she might be 3 to 5 years older than me. After all, we are all young. I am not referring to age. Chen Xiao coughed again. Then what are you alluding to? I'm not following. Yan Bingqin shot him a glare. I mean that thing you men are all too familiar with. Which thing? Yan Bingqin smirked knowingly. I know you understand. Let me tell you. Gan Mishue introduced me to the bathing culture of the northern province, and I observed everything quite clearly. Numerous vivid images instantly surfaced in Chen Zhao's mind. In truth, Yan Bingqin also possessed an admirable figure, though one aspect was not as pronounced. Chen Xiao? Huh? What are you thinking about? Nothing much. Just pondering how delightful today ST is. Yan Bingqin rolled her eyes. Brother, you're drinking coffee. Chen Xiao replied, cough, that doesn't matter. What were you saying about observing something clearly? Please elaborate. Yan Bingqin replied, I won't indulge you with details. I mentioned this to convey that I am indifferent to how many female friends you have. Chen Xiao smiled, why is that? Yan Bingqin explained. Yan Ziyuan and those uncles I know possess fortunes exceeding 5 billion. Even they struggle to maintain control. Thus, this is all predetermined. If you cannot accept this, I will not have made my requests. Chen Xiao was not surprised. Regardless of Yin Bingqin's intentions, whether she genuinely wished to be with him or sought to leverage him against Yin Yin or even Yin Ziyuan, her mindset was undoubtedly shaped by her upbringing. Let us discuss this later. Who knows if you're worth the trouble? First, prove you can manage the Yida commercial group. Yin Bingqin was furious. Chen Xiao. Chen Xiao responded, "Cough, what are you doing? I warn you, I have trained before and have left countless girls in tears, begging for mercy." Yin Bingqin, unlike Zhang Meng, steeled herself, but ultimately couldn't bear to strike him. "Goodbye. You are the one worth nothing. A thankless wolf." With that, Yin Bingqin grabbed the proposal folder and stormed off. Chen Xiao watched her vanish at the corridor's end and murmured, "You wish to become my woman? Let us first settle matters with your father. I certainly do not want an uncontrollable father-in-law." Chen Xiao was confident that, given Yin Ziyuan's character, he could very well attempt to rise to power at the expense of his son-in-law. As the child cried out for his grandfather and the woman called for her biological father, what was to be done? Such a straightforward truth was not lost on Chen Xiao. Yin Bingqin had assumed that Chen Xiao's continual refusal stemmed from a fear of her future interference in his personal life. While that had indeed been the case previously, the current situation was altogether different. The matter concerning Huang Fuhong had proceeded remarkably smoothly. On this day, at the Ice City International Airport, before a private plane bound for Canada, Huang Fuhong inscribed his final signature. Consequently, the shares of Ice City Sanjian 30 in his possession, along with the ongoing shopping mall project, will be transferred to Chen Xiao. For this, Chen Xiao had expended 5.9 billion. The underlying commercial logic was intricate. For instance, by divesting and selling the shopping mall project, Chen Xiao, possessing shares in Ice City Sanjian, could even recoup the funds used for purchasing the shopping mall project. Outsiders could hardly grasp the nuances, only recognizing the series of operations involved. Chen Xiao held over 50 of Ice City Sanjian shares, alongside an entirely owned large shopping mall project under the Yida Commercial Group. Chapter 322. My best friend is going to before boarding. Huang Fuhong shook Chen Xiao's hand and remarked, "Mr. Chen, you are a formidable individual, yet possess boundaries. I wish you triumph in your struggle against the Wang family." Chen Xiao nodded, believing Huang Fuhong spoke from the heart. Should he emerge victorious, a chance to return home remained. If defeated, he would never dare to set foot on this land again. No matter how splendid the outside world appeared, it was not his homeland. No amount of wealth could erase the profound solitude buried within. "Well, I shall take your kind words to heart." Huang Fuhong smiled and turned to board. Halfway, he retraced his steps, producing a disc from his coat pocket. "Mr. Chen, can you promise me something? Look at this tomorrow." Chen Xiao was taken aback, wondering if it contained something of great significance. "Very well, I promise you." Only then did Huang Fuhong hand the disc to Chen Xiao before boarding the plane without a backward glance. The aircraft soon glided into the sky, departing from a land where he had spent the majority of his life, heading towards a completely unfamiliar foreign land. Watching the plane shrink into a mere black, Chen Xiao turned and exited the airport. Before even reaching the car, he instructed Thunder, "Get a computer and open it. Let us see what secrets it holds." Understood. Chen Xiao was certainly not inclined to wait until the next day for the revelation. Soon, a bodyguard brought a laptop. Upon opening Huang Fuhong's disk, Chen Xiao's eyes widened in astonishment. It contained records and evidence of the illicit deeds perpetrated by Wang Ju over the years. These documents, if nothing else, would ensure that Wang Ju could not emerge from retirement unscathed. No wonder Huang Fuhong had urged him to open it the next day. Had he submitted this information now, the plane would be intercepted and returned. Many of the matters had been orchestrated by Huang Fuhong on behalf of Wang Ju. However, Chen Xiao had no intention of taking that route, as his grievances with Huang Fuhong had concluded. They could now regard each other as friends. This was the world of the affluent. There were no eternal friends, only everlasting interests. With the acquisition of this information, Chen Xiao felt exhilarated. "Thunder, deliver the documents to Zhong and have him organize them for reporting." "Yes." Chen Xiao finally settled into the car and called Yin Bingqin. "Hello. The mall deal has been secured. You can now showcase your talents." "Wow, that was quick." "Huang Fuhong is willing to transfer?" Chen Xiao smiled, proclaiming from this moment on, "Ice City will know no Huang Fuhong." Yin Bingqin was momentarily taken aback. You mustn't mean." She hesitated to inquire further over the phone. Yet, Chen Xiao comprehended her unspoken concern. "Rest assured, I shan't engage in any foolishness. He has gone abroad, and I shall take over the operations of Ice City Sanjian." Yin Bingqin remained silent for a while, astonished by Chen Zhao's remarkable efficiency. "All right then, are you returning to Jinning?" Yes, I've handled matters in Beisheng. What reason do I have to linger here? If I don't return to class soon, I might fail my final exams. Yin Bingqin was left speechless. Chun Zhao's ability to shift between his identities as a boss and a student was disconcerting. Let's have a meal together before you leave. I am stationed in Beisheng, and who knows when I will see you again. Chun Xiao replied, No worries, I will return for the new year. You can focus on our business here. Yin Bingqin responded, If you return for the new year, I too must head home. Besides, my close friend is about to study abroad. We should gather together. Oh, your friend is going too? Very well then, see you soon. Upon meeting Yin Bingqin, she bore a look of profound melancholy. Chun Xiao sighed, finding women to be perpetually perplexing, especially since she had been the one to encourage him to pursue her friend. Now, she seemed to be consumed by jealousy. Today, Gan Mishue wore a light yellow turtleneck sweater, her hair neatly styled into a high ponytail. She still sported her signature black-rimmed glasses, perched delicately upon her petite nose. The contours of her sweater were indeed striking. Previously, Chun Xiao had not paid much attention, but ever since Yin Bingqin had described her, he found himself unable to resist sneaking glances. Gan Mishue, perceptive as ever, immediately sensed Chun Xiao's gaze, a blush blossoming on her cheeks. She mused to herself that Chun Xiao had not been so bold before. Why was his gaze so ardent today? Under the table, Yin Bingqin kicked Chun Xiao sharply. Eat. Staring won't fill your stomach. Cough, cough. Here, Mishue, I wish you smooth sailing in your studies abroad. Thank you. Noticing Yin Bingqin's jealousy intensifying, Chun Xiao added, I also wish you success in your work and an abundance of wealth. Yin Bingqin shot him a glare. Earning money is just for you, you ingrate. Gan Mishue chuckled. You two seem like a pair of happy adversaries. You are quite well matched. Chun Xiao, have you considered Yin Bingqin? Chun Xiao was at a loss for words. Are you two trying to play matchmakers here? She is too young. I prefer someone older. Bang. Yin Bingqin kicked him again, fully aware that Chun Xiao was not referring to age. Cough, cough. Let us not discuss this. Let us eat before it gets cold. Gan Mishue was puzzled. After all, Yin Bingqin was 3 years older than Chun Xiao. Was she still considered young? The meal, accompanied by 2 exquisite beauties, was rich in flavor and delight. The following day, Gan Mishue boarded her flight abroad. Chun Xiao prepared to return to Jining. Yin Bingqin and Su Xiaolan came to the airport to bid farewell. Upon meeting, both were momentarily stunned, each pondering the other's identity. However, none dared to inquire. It was not until Chun Zhao's plane had departed that Yin Bingqin could no longer restrain herself and asked, Are you Chun Zhao's girlfriend? Su Xiaolan nodded. Yin Bingqin pondered briefly and chose not to pursue the matter further. I am a friend of Chun Zhao's, and I will be residing in Ice City for the next 6 months to a year. Feel free to visit me whenever you have time. Oh, okay. Su Xiaolan still seemed somewhat timid. Yin Bingqin smiled and turned to leave. As Su Xiaolan watched Yin Bingqin enter Chun Zhao's Rolls Royce, her emotions grew increasingly complex. With a soft sigh, she returned to her own Palamara, driven by her bodyguard back to school for classes. On the plane, Chun Xiao reviewed Su Tang's work report. In the financial market, they had already acquired 25% of Ice City's third construction shares. Chun Xiao commanded a halt to further acquisitions and disbanded all real estate departments of Ice City's third construction. Instead, he established a network literature division, issuing guaranteed submissions to all online authors with a singular stipulation. The antagonist's name must be Wang Ju. The more pitifully Wang Ju was portrayed, the higher the remuneration for the author. Additionally, he instructed Zhong to allocate funds for promotion across various websites and forums, ensuring that Wang Ju's name became universally known, evoking a visceral loathing at the mere mention. After all, this would not incur substantial costs. The most valuable asset of Ice City's third construction was its land, which would remain unaffected regardless of how it was leveraged. This maneuver left Su Tang utterly astounded. She was curious to see Wang Ju's expression upon discovering that the company in which he held shares was collectively deriding him. Chapter 323. The market trend of Atlantic Capital Group Su Tang was remarkably efficient. Upon Chun Xiao's return to Tung Xiao Capital, she had already mapped out the framework for the network literature division and engaged a headhunting firm to scout for professionals. Chun Xiao smiled and remarked, There is no need for excessive professionalism. Let us just have some fun. Our sole objective is to provoke Wang Ju into selling his stocks, and that will suffice. Understood, boss. As long as Wang Ju was ousted, Chun Xiao would have effectively utilized 50 to 60 billion to gain control of a 100 billion real estate enterprise. Along with the opportunity to thoroughly vex him before he could enter the company, ensuring that he would not find peace within its walls. After spending some time at the company, Chun Xiao returned to his mountaintop villa. He luxuriated in the outdoor hot spring, indulging in the gentle ministrations of a young masseuse. Meanwhile, Xia Yudi was live streaming from the foot of the mountain, with hundreds of thousands tuning in, including several prominent streamers, to enliven the atmosphere. Suddenly, there was a knock at the live stream's door. Xia Yudi turned and said, "Come in." Shortly thereafter, the housekeeper entered and announced, Mr. Chun has returned." Xia Yudi was taken aback, immediately tossing aside her mouse and dashing out, leaving the audience in the live stream bewildered. "Did you hear that? Miss Little Fish is from a wealthy family. That's irrelevant. The key point is Mr. Chun. You better watch out. I'm going to kill you. My goddess. The dream is shattered. The heart is broken. I'm unfollowing. Goodbye, family." Damn, yesterday Little Fish said the same thing when she called that guy. Ahem. Can I not follow again? The nanny glanced at the ostentatious display and mumbled a few words before turning away. With a loud bang, she shut the door, trapping hundreds of thousands of fans in the cold esports room. I felt an overwhelming sense of solitude. Indeed, it was akin to being abandoned. Who will pay us any attention? Damn it, just look at others. As soon as Little Fish left, many streamers began broadcasting. In the mountaintop villa, Chun Xiao was savoring the moment when he heard Xia Yudi's surprised exclamation. "Darling, why didn't you tell me you were back?" Chun Xiao turned with a smile. "I didn't want to distract you from making money for me." Xia Yudi retorted, "You big bad guy. You had me streaming just to work for you." Chun Xiao burst into laughter, pulling Xia Yudi into his mischief. In truth, the girl earned quite a bit. She brought in several tens of thousands each day from streaming. Over the course of a year, she could easily generate hundreds of millions for Chun Xiao. Chun Xiao couldn't help but marvel at how fortunate he was to find such a beautiful and profitable companion, utterly devoted to him and whom he could tease at will. "Yudi, I see other streamers are dressed. How annoying. I'll wear it for you later." Chun Xiao smirked slightly, adjusting the temperature. The water in the hot spring began to gradually warm. The spring was situated at the edge of a vast platform atop the mountain, overlooking the myriad lights of the city below. Although the temperature was quite low outside, the water remained invitingly warm, bubbling with steam. The rippling water occasionally splashed over the edge. After soaking for a while, Chun Xiao stood up and returned indoors. The air conditioning was sufficiently strong. With the indoor temperature at 28 degrees, he felt perfectly comfortable wrapped in a bath towel. Xia Yudi, too, blushed with her face flushed, tightly wrapped in her towel. Too shy to look up at the maid, uncertain if she had been observed earlier. What had just transpired could be considered an appetizer. After dinner, Chun Xiao truly appreciated the beauty before him. The following day, Chun Xiao indulged in a rare lie-in, pondering the current state of his company. Real estate, film, streaming, and retail were all progressing steadily, while the financial sector remained relatively quiet. After the upheaval in Ice City's 3 construction projects, over $7 billion remained in liquid funds. Casually picking up his phone, he was taken aback. From November 15th to December 1st, Atlantic Capital Group rose by 25, and from December 1st to December 31st, it fell by 30. What the hell? Yin Bingqin's family had a continuous rise for half a month, followed by a steady decline for another month. What was going on with Atlantic Capital Group? Chun Xiao glanced at Xia Yudi beside him, her hair tousled and her sleeping form serene, and gently got out of bed. He tidied up the clothes scattered on the floor before stepping out of the bedroom. Breakfast was ready, attended by several beautiful waitresses. As he ate slowly, he contemplated whether to disclose some information to Yin Bingqin to help her prepare early. However, after some thought, he decided against it. When it came to making money, everyone else could take a back seat. After all, as long as she was with him, she wouldn't face poverty. Enduring a temporary loss was a small price to pay. The Atlantic Capital Group boasts a staggering market value of $280 billion, comprised of several subgroups and numerous subsidiaries. Such a colossal entity, with merely a sneeze, could instigate tremors, as it concerns the employment of hundreds of thousands and is intertwined with the fates of countless supply chain enterprises. The dramatic fluctuations in stock prices, Chun Xiao surmised, are largely attributed to real estate. Recently, Atlantic Capital Group has been contracting its operations, increasingly focusing its investments on the real estate sector, which constitutes at least half of its market value. King Ning Pharmaceuticals accounts for 1/3 of the remaining half.